Get a lot of suggestions from viewers for artists that ought to be featured on Oregon Artbeat. Well, our next idea came in the form of an email. It claimed the Gary Small Band is one of the finest ensembles in Portland, led by a guitarist whose style was described as a cross between B.B. King and Santana. So we got in touch with Gary, but we found that his musical roots go back a lot further than the blues.
I'll never forget the first time I heard Indian music. I was 3, 4, 5 years old, and I couldn't have been 10 feet from this Indian drum group. And I remember when they started up, and all of a sudden that guy, the lead singer, you know, lead man we call it, lead man takes off, and that high, whiny cry. I didn't know what was wrong with him. I thought he was in pain or hurting or crying or whatever. And then they all joined him, and that big drum going up. And I'll never forget being just scared out of my little pants. But to this day, I remember it so vividly, and that music, that crying sound. And that sound is translated into my guitar playing, because it's just this sound that is beyond description. For me, I can't tell you anymore what that sound does to me.
Gary Small grew up on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation in Wyoming, and his native heritage flows through the music he makes. On a recent trip back to the reservation, Gary took a camcorder along because he says to understand where the music comes from, we'd have to understand where he came from.
Hi, this is Gary Small, and I want to welcome you to the Cheyenne Indian Reservation in Montana. This is where my family ranch was in the southern part of the Cheyenne Reservation. You can see it's very beautiful. It's a real typical landscape of the reservation here. And this is all that remains of the original ranch. I haven't been back here in about 10 years, so this is a real treat for me. My Aunt Eva. She's been around for a lot of years with me and been my most favorite aunt. And we just ran into her on this gravel road out here in the middle of nowhere, and we just had to put her on a video. Say hi, Eva.
Hi. Hello, everybody. I had a birthday June the 6th, and I'm 87 years old now. I still drive.
And this is the infamous Kirby Saloon, the only thing still standing in Kirby, Montana. Just a bar. All local ranchers and many of my family gather here on occasion to kick back and talk. Hey everybody, I want to introduce you to my Uncle Melvin. This is my dad's younger brother. Longtime cowboy rancher here in this area, and one of my favorite uncles. Melvin, tell him something good about me.
Well, he's a pretty good fella, and don't get to see him often enough. But when I do, I enjoy his company and your company myself.
Thank you. This is my family cemetery up here on this beautiful hillside above the old place. This is where my grandma and grandpa are laid to rest. This is where my cousin Clark rests. He used to get on his motorbike and come see me play when I was playing these remote places in Montana. And Clark met her early death. He was murdered. The reservation's a beautiful place, but can also be very, very violent.
Gary moved to Portland a few years back, but the reservation remains close.
This is a portrait of Chief Two Moons. He's one of the Northern Cheyenne chiefs. You know, I just got to look at that face. It brings me back to reality.
In 2002, Gary released an album called Wild Indians. It's a blend of Latin, rock, and reggae rhythms, but the stories are from a uniquely Native American perspective.
No, the English song. The old man sing the angry song.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't ever want to do with this CD is say, oh, this is what it is to be Indian. Basically, you know, if you were to sit down and say, Gary, tell me about yourself, tell me about your family, that's what it is in musical form.
This member of Northern Cheyenne tribe blends his masterful guitar with powerful songwriting. Please welcome the Gary Small Band.
Crazy move, do you wanna dance under the crazy moon?
We have the NAMI Awards, which is the Indian version of the Grammy Awards. It's the Native American Music Association, their organization out of New York. And they had us play for their award show. So we're very proud of that. And I say we because, you know, it's just not me. You know, I'm nothing without my band.
Gary and the band are working on a follow-up to Wild Indians. They tried out some of the new material one night at the White Eagle. Gary acknowledges that most people are just out for a good time, but at the end of the night, he hopes they take home a little bit of the message in the music.
I think you need to strike a balance between telling people about Indian culture and hitting them over the head with Indian culture. You got to give them just the right amount. You have to give them something to think about.
Well, Navajo Joe was a pitiful soul, drinking whiskey while dancing in the street. He said, boy, don't you ever let the bastard get you, or you wind up just like me. He had a purple face to match a purple heart, resided at the Empire.
The Gary Small Band will headline an all-star lineup of Native American artists at the 3rd annual Chemawa Indian School benefit concert. The concert is free, but donations will be gladly accepted to help fund school programs. It's Friday, November 21st in the school auditorium. The school is just off I-5 on Chemawa Road in Salem. The doors open at 6. For more information on the benefit and Gary Small, visit his website, GarySmallBand.com.